Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Pro Wrestling Logic YouTube channel and the Raw report for the 19th of October, 2020. A bit behind. Been a busy couple of days. Lots of content uploaded tonight. At least half a dozen, if not more, uploads overnight tonight. And when I say that, that'll be on into the 22nd. My apologies for not getting to this sooner. Anyway, Raw was a horrible show. I feel like I say that every week. They have a new theme song, The Search by NF. Announcers run down the show. Alexa Bliss appears. She's in red lights. She announces that the Fiend is there. Let him in. Fiend enters. They hold hands. Lights come on. All 5 members of Retribution come around, including Mustafa Ali. They surround Bray Wyatt and Alexa Bliss. Lights go out. Lights come back on. Wyatt and Bliss are gone. I guess this means they're kind of like The Undertaker. Music for the Hurt Business comes in. Mia Yim leaves the ring. Hurt Business clears the ring. Cedric Alexander wipes out Retribution with a dive. And then we go to break. There's a Matt Riddle video package when we come back from break. I really hope they do something good with Riddle. But 8-man tag match. Hurt Business defeats Retribution in just under 11 minutes. Hurt Business is in control early. Alexander gets distracted by T-Bar. And then Slapjack yanks him off the top. Tags in Ali. Ali takes over. There's a face-off between the two teams. Fiend suddenly appears on the screen. Sticks out his tongue. And they go to break. Supposedly, from reports I read, because honestly, I've started watching wrestling shows without the announcers, unless I like at least one of the announcers on the show, and so this is listened to on mute. But supposedly, Tom Phillips tells us they were fighting during the commercial break, and Sheldon Benjamin gives Mace a German suplex and a knee strike. Lashley hits a spine buster. And then Ali breaks up a cover on one of his men. Lashley put T-Bar in the Hurt Lock, and Retribution loses. This is really bad, unless they're abandoning Retribution, in which case, why did they waste so much darn time trying to get them over? Lights turn red. Fiend appears on the apron. He takes out Retribution too. T-Bar saves Ali from Sister Abigail. And Wyatt gives T-Bar a Sister Abigail instead. Bliss appears on the screen. And then again says, let him in. Anyway. So then AJ Styles with Jordan Agmaglin. And I know I'm pronouncing his last name wrong. But that's par for the course. Anyway, 7'2", 7'3", African-American fellow who was Shane McMahon's bodyguard on the now defunct Raw Underground is now AJ Styles' bodyguard. This could be good. One of the few good things on the show if they do it right, but they've got to build it for at least 6 months, if not longer. Anyway, AJ Styles defeats Matt Riddle. Not a fan of that, but the match was good while it lasted. And, of course, the new bodyguard looks really big on next to Styles, because Styles, well, isn't the biggest guy in the world. So Styles brags about beating Seth Rollins, brags about beating Jeff Hardy. He said it was never Monday Night Rollins and calls this the new era that belongs to him. Matt Riddle gets fireworks upon his entrance. They ring the bell, start the match. The bodyguard wouldn't leave the ring. Referee told him to leave. Referee starts counting to 5. Bodyguard grabs the referee's hand. Referee begs for him to leave. So let's get this straight. New guy on the show, referee is afraid of. If the referee's already afraid, then why shouldn't we all be running away? Styles thought this is amusing. Finally, Big Bodyguard leaves ring. Riddle sends Styles to the outside. This does not go well because Bodyguard lifts up his arm, and this causes Riddle to recoil in some degree of fear, which is just dumb. Riddle's a former actual real life fighter, should be afraid of nobody. Anyway, Styles is in control post the commercial break. Riddle hits several strikes and a T-bone suplex. Styles gets his feet up on Riddle, trying for the senton. They exchange strikes. Riddle hits a German suplex. Styles hits a fireman's carry neckbreaker for a near fall. Riddle hits a fisherman buster for a near fall of his own. Styles falls off the top rope. Bodyguard walked up to Riddle and clenched his fist. Riddle slipped back into the ring. Styles gives him an enziguri and a Styles clash for the pinfall win. Okay, so you've taken the time to put Matt Riddle, the best thing you have at ever having another star again, into a situation where he's on a new brand and you beat him the first time in. Good job! Oi, anyway, so they air a needless Drew McIntyre, Randy Orton video package. The reason I say needless is A, they're not hyping the match properly, and B, if people are watching the show every week, they already know what's going on here. We start the second hour with Charlie Caruso attempting to interview McIntyre, but he asks her for the mic and tells her to go away. He said he thought his career would be over. Orton has the most evil, sadistic, selfish person in WWE. McIntyre knew he should have left Orton in his past. Orton's intelligent, knew how to get under his skin. Orton's been in many Hell in a Cell matches. McIntyre's been in none. McIntyre said that he's been through more hell in life than you can imagine, and would put Orton through hell on Sunday. McIntyre basically warns Orton he'll see him later tonight. This is a really weak promo for the champion in that, you know, this is your first Hell in a Cell match. Show some fear, show some strength, show something that isn't cookie cutter. And then Asuka defeats Lana for the women's championship in under 2.5 minutes. Lana gets a little bit of offense, but it doesn't mean anything. Asuka locks is almost immediately applied. Asuka wins in quick fashion. Nia Jax music hits when the match ends. Jax and Baszler enter. They beat up Asuka, and then Lana goes through the table for the 5th time in about 6 or 7 weeks. Baszler goes after Asuka. Asuka fights her off with a kick, knocks her out of the ring, hits the hip attack, and poses with her belt. Jax and Baszler cut a promo post-break. Jax notes how well they worked as a team despite not really getting along. Baszler calls out them the dominant team on both brands. Jax dares anyone to challenge them. Cue music for Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke. This is not good for them. Saxton doubts that this is the right time to do this. Lacey Evans enters, and followed by Peyton Royce. So you take Peyton Royce, who, I don't know, might be decent. I haven't seen enough of her, because I came into watching WWE again regularly probably about a year ago, something like that. After taking some time off, I didn't get in the time I saw the Iconics, I didn't get the value of either one of them. I don't get the value of Lacey Evans either. Haven't changed my mind in the last 8 or 9 months, and so now you throw them together as a useless tag team. Anyway, SmackDown's Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan enters next. So now the brand split doesn't matter, and we're less than 2 weeks away from it actually happening. Non-title fatal four-way tag match that nobody cares about. Tag champs Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler defeat Mandy Rose and Dana Brooke, Lacey Evans, Peyton Royce, and Ruby Riott and Liv Morgan in 8 minutes and 29 seconds. Oh my gosh. This should have been over in about 8 minutes. Like, as in, cut 8 minutes out of the match. So, Jackson Baszler, Rosen Brooks battle on the outside. Royce dives on everyone. Evans follows with a dive herself, which, for the record, didn't look good. And she could have gotten really hurt. Ruby and Morgan also hit dives. Everyone hit dives. So we do move coming back from the commercial break. Riot Squad almost hits Evan and then almost had her beat with a code breaker. Riot kick combo. Baszler breaks up the cover. Baszler chokes out Ruby Riott as Jax gives Evan a Samoan drop for the pinfall win. I don't know. Ruby Riott, to me, shouldn't have been the one to really lose the fall. I would have put that on either Evans or Royce, but that's just me. So Elias does his goofy concert thing. He's got a full band with him. They plug his album that's coming out. He says he has a song that is Amen. He sings for a bit. I guess people are swaying and nodding their heads to the music, if we can call it that. Elias plays another song called Lead Me Home. He says he loves none of the fans. He's about to leave. Mystery Guitar Man unmasks himself. It's Jeff Hardy. Hardy swings a guitar at Elias, who ducks and rolls out of the way. Hardy's music plays after this. And that, I guess, is supposed to lead us to care about a match between Elias and Hardy at the pay-per-view on Sunday. Guess what? Population of Who Cares Town. Everybody. Anyway, Miz and Morrison speak in the back about Otis and Mandy Rose. Tucker interrupts them. He claimed that Miz uses his influence with USA Network to get Rose drafted away from Otis. Tucker said he'd find a partner. Miz and Morrison accepted. They laugh very fakely at the idea that Tucker could find a partner. Caruso catches up with Elias backstage, and he is upset that he's still getting blamed for hitting Jeff Hardy. Challenges him to a match. Hoorah, hoorah. New Day promo. Kofi Kingston said New Day are the Raw Tag Champs for the first time in nearly 4 years. Xavier Woods says he got injured last year, and 2020 has been a garbage year thus far. Hey, something true, actually. Shout out on this program. Sheamus interrupts. He calls their segment on SmackDown embarrassing. Threatens to Brogue Kick Kingston. This is only 2/3 of the New Day. And then they say New Day isn't done yet. Big E could hold things down on the blue side. Well, they do the same on the red side. They're going to spread their seeds all over WWE. That could be expensive, guys. Anyway, Sheamus told them to shut up, and they remind him that he got beat up by, in fact, Big E. And Kofi Kingston with Xavier Woods defeat Sheamus in 13 and a quarter minutes or so. And they are fighting for less than 2 minutes before they go to the break. They come back at the start of the third hour. Sheamus is in control post-break. Big E is shown on the screens. Woods lets Kingston know that E is there to help encourage him. Kingston comes back with a foot stomp and a drop kick and some clotheslines and a flying crossbody for a near fall. Sheamus catches him off the rope with a swinging side slam for a 2 count. Kingston tries drop kick. Sheamus counters and then goes into a small package. Sheamus hits an Alabama slam for a near fall. And then, it's just there. Sheamus goes to the top. Kingston beats him down the side. Russian leg sweep for a 2. I will say here, I did go back to check out the fact that, in fact, Xavier Woods yells, new moves, new moves. Steers and near falls. Kingston finally hits Trouble in Paradise, gets the pinfall win. Mustafa Ali cuts a promo. He basically said, with Retribution sitting behind him, that Hurt Business and Wyatt made a mistake thinking that their only strength was strength in numbers. His real strength was causing chaos using technology, basically. Ali said all he needs is a laptop, a cell phone, or a secret. With one click, he can make anyone's world come crumbling down. So basically, he admits to being a cyber terrorist. Didn't they try this with Sami Callihan years ago on NXT? Anyway, Ali sat home over the summer because the corrupt company didn't know what to do with him. And he's been plotting all along. Ali admitted to being the hacker on SmackDown. He figured out this whole place was infected. Everyone was filled with greed and corruption. People are being forgotten. He basically says that he will shut everybody down. I will say this promo is good. It kind of gives Retribution a vision, although he doesn't explain why people would join him. But at least it's beginning to give it a story. A little late, but better than never, I suppose. Hurt Business stands shoulder to shoulder backstage. They're happy with what they've already accomplished. Titus O'Neil approaches, congratulating them. Titus O'Neil basically tries to get into the group. He gets beat up for the insinuation. Miz and Morrison enter and wanted to see who Tucker's partner was. Tucker entered and said he found a great luchador, El Gran Gordo. Basically, the Great Fat, or the Big Fat, or something. This is obviously Otis under a mask. This is basically remnant of the Mr. America dumbness from like 15 years ago. Anyway, the masked luchador is also holding the lunchbox. Tucker said that he was the next Rey Mysterio Jr. Gee, I hope not. Miz cuts him off, cuts a promo, calls Otis a pig in a mask. So then they go to the ring. 4.5 minutes, a little more than that. El Gran Gordo makes a hot tag. Does a cartwheel. R-Truth shows up, runs through the middle of the ring. A few dorks run after him. And then Otis hits a Caterpillar Innovator Bomb for a pinfall win. Everybody dances backstage. And then Mandy Rose hands him a ham. Okay, so we go to the Firefly Funhouse. Bray Wyatt throws out all his former props. He's happy to make new friends on Raw. His rabbit puppet mentions having a wife. Wyatt promises to be a better friend. And then the rabbit getting destroyed is replayed a bunch of times. Wyatt said the past is in their heads, but the future's in their hands. Rabbit's happy to get a fresh start, but he's eaten again by the buzzard. Someone knocks on the door. It's Alexa Bliss. She's wearing black and red. She says the fun's just getting started. And everyone's happy, and she waves goodbye to everybody. Braun Strowman, I get this, defeats Keith Lee in less than 3 minutes. So you have the chance to make a new star, which we've been saying we want to do, and lying and manipulating stockholders into believing we're doing in Keith Lee, and Matt Riddle for that matter. And we squash him to someone that doesn't really matter in Braun Strowman in less than 3 minutes. Strowman's in control, runs over Lee on the outside, hits a power slam in the ring. and then Lee hits a splash for near fall. Strowman uses a low blow, and then Strowman headbutts. Basically, it's a low headbutt. Strowman follows with a running big boot for pinfall. At least Keith Lee gets his heat back, kind of, with a groin shot of his own. Ric Flair and JBL shown watching the match on screens. And then Randy Orton cuts a promo to close the program. So, anyway, Orton comes out. There's like less than a third of a segment left. The Hell in a Cell cage is lowered. Orton locks himself in. He suggested that he is ready for Hell in a Cell, and McIntyre's not. Orton said he's had 7 of these matches before. He understands how to win these. He recalled matches facing Mark Henry, Sheamus, Jeff Hardy, Daniel Bryan, facing John Cena twice, and winning a world championship twice. He was looking the dead man in the eyes and earning his respect. He said all of these men were current or future Hall of Famers. He says the word legend gets thrown around a lot. He acknowledges the strength of the win of Drew McIntyre over Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania. McIntyre interrupts. McIntyre couldn't get in the cage because it's locked. Orton taunts him. Anyway, off screen, McIntyre grabs some bolt cutters and cuts the lock. McIntyre enters the cell, and they go off the air. This is how you hype a network per view. This is what you're trying to make people care about. No, this just doesn't work. Anyway, we'll be back with more right after this.